Hear ye, hear yay. We are gathered here today to dispute a legend of boxing by the name of Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. taking more shots at Floyd. Like I said before, at the end of the day, I got a smart investment, right? We got to talk about it because Roy said some things and flat out, your boy Ego don't agree with it. But in this video, I'm going to get unpacked and I'm going to let you know what parts of what I'm going to let you know, first of all, what he said. I'm going to let you know parts of why I don't agree with it. And we're really going to unpack this thing like one big happy family. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I like to do these PSAs because every day I got new fans or new people, at least, that I'm exposed to in the algorithm watching my content. So some people, they don't know how long I've been doing this, right? Fine, touche. So I like to do these quick PSAs before some of these videos so people know what it is and that kind of thing. And for me, if you follow me for any length of time, you will know these things. But if you're new, you may not. You may not know my history in the sport. You may not know my preferences. So Roy Jones coming up, watching this great sport we have called boxing, was my favorite fighter. He's one of my top favorite fighters of all time. The showmanship, the trash talk, the pizzazz, dancing in the ring. You gotta love Roy, right? Grew up on Roy. I wasn't grabbing the rope, yeah. I was chicken fighting. Huh, don't do that. Don't do that, big piece of cola in the hat, right? You gotta love Roy if you're a boxing fan. And if you don't, you probably too young. You're too young to even know about Roy, so, you should scram. So, he said some things about Floyd Money Mayweather that I completely disagree with. And in true Boxing Ego fashion, I'm going to keep it real. And I never create like a debate, or I never say something that I can't explain and justify and qualify. So I think that's one of my strong is at the end of the day, if I said it, I meant it, and I have a way to explain it. So that's what we're going to get into right about now. What am I referring to? The world wants to know. What did Roy say that Ego does not agree with? Glad you asked. Shazam! All right. Yeah. In a recent interview, Roy is talking about the greatness of current Shakur Stevenson and the comparisons to Floyd Mayweather. A lot of fans are making that comparison. They're crossing that bridge. Me, I don't like to do that. The reason I don't like to do that is because you're stepping into big shoes. Floyd, as a boxer, man, we talking about top shelf work, goated, TBE. Like I said before, my father, Roger, they taught me when I came home from school, I said, homework, put that boxing on, right? We talking about a GOAT. And I'm not saying Shakur can't be great, but these are big shoes to fill. So anyway, back to the quote. In an interview with Fight Hub, Roy says, Shakur, he is like Mayweather. Peep this. But wait, there's more. He is like Floyd Mayweather. The difference is he is fighting everybody. He's not ducking and dodging. End quote. The difference is Shakur, so in an effort to give Shakur props in this comparison, you are slighting Floyd Mayweather. Now, let's be real. It is well documented that Roy and Floyd haven't had the best of relationship. Roy has made jokes oh, Floyd, he cried like a baby when Maidana bit him. I mean, to me, that really wasn't a good, if somebody bites you, that's outside of the scope, outside of the rules of boxing. Nobody should be biting anybody. This word to Mike Tyson. I'm hungry. I come from Brownfield, Brooklyn, where we had to eat Lunchables. And I'm hungry. I was hungry, so I ate a nibble on Evander Holyfield's ear because he was headbutting me, and I was temporarily, I blacked out. And I couldn't really concentrate on the fight, so I had to bite. Right? You're not supposed to be biting people no ways. So why would Roy, I believe it was some kind of seminar where he had a mic, I don't want to say a mastermind, but kind of, right? He was at some kind of press conference, and you could find the video on YouTube, right? And you're making fun of Floyd because he screamed or whatever when he got bit. You're not supposed to be getting bit in combat sports. So I didn't think that was a good plan. And then more recently, and I made videos about this, Roy, I forgot what he said, but you can check the video because I made the video. He said Sugar Ray Leonard is better than Floyd or would knock out Floyd. I mean, for me, I don't really even get into these conversations at all, if you know my steez and my style, because there's no way to prove it. I'm a direct competitor. If I debate with somebody, I want there to be a winner and I want there to be a loser. I don't want to just debate for the sake of debating and then we can't really prove who's the best or who said what or what. You know what I mean? That, to me, that's not really a kind of an engagement or a debate that I want to partake in. I want Roman gladiators to the, you know what I mean? I'm Maximus Decimus Meridius with the sand. I want there to be an outcome, you or me. So I don't too much do the back and forth debates with the historic fights, because at the end of the day, there's no way to qualify your statements and know if Floyd was capable of beating Tommy Hearns, if Floyd was capable of beating Sugar Ray Leonard, or a more modern twist, people are saying Floyd at 47 versus Terrence Crawford. They're not finna fight. Floyd 50, Terrence Crawford retired. They're friends to my knowledge. They're not gonna fight. So I am a grown man. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a grown man. So I don't waste my time with fantasy. I don't understand why boxing cares so much about fantasy fights that you can't prove. That's my personal take. But whatever. Roy felt that Sugar Ray would knock out Floyd. Is subjective at best. Personal opinion. You maybe you like the older fighters better than people who kind of came after you a little bit. Cool, whatever. Floyd heard it, seen it, and started posting on social media, taunting Roy, watching various tapes of him getting knocked out, like Enzo Maccarelli, that fight, him getting knocked out by Tarver, and he did a subliminal diss. So that was even recently, but the two have kind of went back and forth where they take shots at each other. So I really believe that Roy here, by making this statement, this has a lot to do with your rocky past with Floyd, right? Because you're saying the difference, right? So now let's talk about it. Let your boy Ego cook and really get unpacked. Difference. Noun. So what is a difference? I know it's an easy word, but I don't know if you guys know. He said the difference between Floyd and Shakur is blah, blah, blah. So difference.
Difference.
A noun. a point or way in which people or things are not the same. So you're alluding to something that has serious implications and is super bold. You're alluding to pretty much that Shakur Stevenson is in a separate class than Floyd Mayweather. I'm going to read the quote yet again. He is like Mayweather. The difference is he's fighting everybody. He's not ducking and dodging. Now, again, Roy, my favorite fighter growing up, him, Mike Tyson, Ali, I got a few, but whatever. It's not about me. The problem I have is this. Everybody got an opinion. It's the internet. Everybody got a podcast or a YouTube show they're running. But in boxing, you get all these opinions and then people start to believe it. And that's where it gets a little bit, including, but not limited to, actual boxers. Boxers have personal preferences. They're human. Just because you take punches and you're tough and you could throw a jab, that don't mean that your opinion is God tier and nobody's capable of outthinking you in a sport that you competed in, right? So for me, the issue is this, is it's a bridge too far. And I feel like Roy and a lot of others in media and fans, you guys allow people to make these statements without really qualifying them, but because boxing is an emotional sport, it's a roller coaster ride, you allow these statements to come out and go off without a hitch. And really, you're not even assessing if it makes sense. What do you mean Shakur is fighting everybody? The bottom line is this. Shakur's resume at this point of his career is nowhere near Floyd Mayweather's resume was at a similar point. And I'm prepared to prove it. Okay, I'll prove it. I'll beat any man in this room in less than 60 seconds. Hey, Linda, don't go too far, hun. It'd be over in 60 seconds. So when I cook y'all in these unpacks, I like to establish a baseline. So we're going to do that right now. So my baseline is everybody knows when Floyd fought Oscar De La Hoya, it was on and popping for him immediately after that, right? Immediately after that. So I looked it up just for research purpose, so my video was accurate. And Floyd fought Oscar De La Hoya when he was 30 years old, Cinco de Mayo, 2007, right? De La Hoya was 4 years older at 34, and Floyd won that particular fight. As we know, 12-round decision. Once again, Floyd was 30 years old. So to establish this baseline, I looked up Shakur. Shakur is 28 years old, right? But wait, there's more. Not only is he 28 years old as of me recording this video, he will be 29 this June, so this summer, right? He's a summer baby. So that means Shakur Stevenson, without a shadow of a doubt, in the next few months, will 100% be within about a year of where Floyd was when he fought Oscar De La Hoya. That is the baseline. Now, why is that important? Age for age. I know some of the fans, they say, but okay, Ego, that's a pretty good point. But what does it mean? Now we go deeper. Now that Boxingego has established this baseline, we'll go deeper into the resume, because Roy's initial statement was that Floyd was ducking and dodging. I'm just paraphrasing. He's ducking and dodging, and Shakur is fighting everybody. So the baseline is Floyd was 30, which is about a year older than where Shakur is this year, right? So that is the baseline, and we'll keep going. Boom. Floyd finished his career 50-0. So the baseline is 30-year-old Floyd fighting De La Hoya. So I'll skip past all of this, right? And we'll go completely down to 2007, in which he fought Oscar De La Hoya. So who did Floyd fight before age 30 becomes an important question. Okay, right before De La Hoya, he fought Carlos Baldomir, who, again, respected name. The year before he fought De La Hoya, that was in 2007. Baldomir was in 2006. Also, he fought Zab Judah the same year. So he's fighting 2 ranked people, as we know, and he had to be Shakur's age. Give me Zab Judah in Baltimore over anybody that Shakur has fought in his whole entire career at that point. Baltimore was a respected guy, bigger than Floyd. Zab Judah, we know he was a real one and respected. Zab Judah clears anybody on Shakur's, including Teofimo. I mean, is anybody going to suggest to the king of boxing talk that Teofimo is way better than prime Zab Judah? Like, I mean, you can if you want to. So they're both from New York. Zab is actually from New York, not Florida, right? He got a crazy resume. And when he fought Floyd, he did lose to Baltimore, right? We'll get back down to that, right? So he fought Baltimore, but he also knocked out Corey Spinks. He had fought Mickey Ward. The Spinks, he did lose a decision, the first one. He had beaten DeMarcus Corley. He was already certified, right? He fought Costa Zoo before he fought Floyd. Even though he lost that fight, he was still in there with a real one. And it was an upset fight. Junior Witter, right? Top shelf names. T.O. don't have names like that. He got Lomachenko. And for real, if we're really questioning Teofimo and like analyzing that, I gave Shakur credit. No doubt about it. I gave him credit for his performance. Job well done. He did his thing. However, Teofimo, I told you the reason why, one of the biggest reasons why I told you I was picking Shakur is he is very consistent. You know what to get. He's disciplined. You know what you're going to get. Outside of the time where he missed weight in the Conceição fight, you ultimately know what you're going to get from a Shakur performance. T.O. all over the place. He's like, oh man, do I still got it? How come he don't want me, man? Like, you know, he's on this Fresh Prince and all that. So I don't know what to expect. Steve Claggett didn't look good. The beginning of the Pedro Campa fight didn't look good. Jermaine Ortiz, who just got knocked out by a younger Keyshawn Davis, he didn't look good. I thought he lost that fight. Thought he lost to Sandor Martin. So people are overinflating this, then not putting it in perspective. That's the problem with what Roy said. You have a beef with Floyd to the point where you're trying to denigrate Floyd, but 30-year-old Floyd clears anything that Shakur has done in his whole entire career, right? You're saying he ducked and dodged, but by the time he was 30, he had fought Baltimore, Zab Judah, Sharmba Mitchell, Arturo Gatti, who was bigger than him, and he fought him in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Gotti's second home, rest in peace. Henry Brussels, these are all ranked people. DeMarcus Corley, Philip Nadal, Jose Luis Castillo, 2 tough fights, came back, cleaned it up, and cleaned Castillo out. Jesus Chavez, Carlos Hernandez, Diego Corrales, who a lot of people thought was going to beat Floyd. Emmanuel Burton, a.k.a. Emmanuel Gustis, the king of the drunken monkey, one of my favorite fighters to watch. Difficult style, Floyd cleared him, right? Angel Manfredi, highly ranked. Gennaro Hernandez, title shot, right? What are we talking about? So this is better. I mean, I can, if y'all want, I guess. I can pull up Shakur's resume, and then you're going to see names like, because people are going to be like, Zab was coming off of a loss to Baltimore when Floyd fought him. Well, guess what? So was Artem Haratunian. He was coming off a loss to Frank Martin, where he almost got stopped in the final round versus Frank Martin. So we're not going to do that. We're not going to don't do that. Not to the king of boxing talk. I know my boxing, so that's why I know y'all can't with me. I know that. Everything I've said so far is fact. So Shakur, he's doing his thing. I'm not slighting him in that front, but it's blasphemous at this point to compare anything he's done. He's not a pimple on Floyd's cheek right now. You beat Williams Zepeda. Who is he? Like, what he done? Over the names Gennaro Hernandez and Diego Corrales. Give me Chico Corrales over Williams Zepeda, who, again, if we're talking about coming off of losses, he should have been coming off a loss to Tevin Farmer. He didn't really convincingly beat Tevin Farmer. So if we're being real, Teofimo, sometimes he looks good versus Lomachenko, looks good versus Josh Taylor, but all them other Catteralls and stuff, hit or miss. Barbosa, kind of cool, but then fizzled out. Zepeda coming off 2 rocky performances with Tevin Farmer where he got dropped in one of them. Josh Padley, don't get me started. He Geek Squad, he an electrician fixing cable or whatever, the cable guy, and he had no time to prepare. Hard Tunian was coming off of a loss. Edwin De Los Santos, you beat him, but everybody hated both of y'all performances, and it was neither person really engaged. For Edwin De Los Santos, he didn't engage because he couldn't. He couldn't, like, close the distance for whatever. You beat Yokozuna or whatever this dude is, right? Robson Casasio, you missed weight. Valdez, you seen, like, Valdez, his claim to fame is that Bear Chelt fight. After Shakur, he really went on to keep losing. He got his face messed up by Navarrete, lost twice to Navarrete, boom, knocked out, got dropped by Top Rank. What are we talking about, bro? Arguably, he was coming off a loss to Robson Casasio. He also tested positive in this fight for phentermine. So, listen, the bottom line is this. I've proven in not that much time, I know what I'm talking about. So you could believe me. I don't have a grudge against Roy or Floyd or Shakur or anybody. I'm just giving you the boxing. Or you could believe someone who's openly had a beef with Floyd. And that's the part that I'm trying to get to, and the point I'm making when we're talking about people's boxing and they let their emotion and bias. Roy don't like Floyd. That's what comes across strongly to me. So you're letting your disdain for him have you make statements that under the microscope not really making too much sense. How did Floyd dodge everybody but Shakur's being praised when I believe I've proven it? Let me know in the comment section that a 30-year-old Shakur is 30. He's closer to 30 than he isn't. So we're just going to round up, right? A 30-year-old Floyd resume clears anything that Shakur's done, right? By miles. I've already went over that. So my point is this. How does Shakur get praised for his resume while you try to dish on Floyd's resume? But then I just went bar for bar, line for line. Give me the people Floyd was fighting and beating over anybody that Shakur's beat or whatever, including Zepeda and Teofimo, which are perhaps his best wins. So I'm not understanding that. And then Floyd ducked and dodged. Even after De La Hoya, he continued to fight Conor McGregor. We know that was a big fight. Anyone will take that, right? Andre Berto, ranked, respected former champion. Manny Pacquiao to fight everybody said they wanted to see. He fought Maidana twice. Shakur's not fought no Maidana level character. Canelo, who went on to do a lot of things. Guerrero, who was an interim champion. Cotto, Ortiz, right? Dangerous southpaw at the time. Shane Mosley, Juan Manuel Marquez, Ricky Hatton, and that was all after Oscar De La Hoya. So my point is very clear. Before or after, nothing Shakur has done competes at all with Floyd. He's in a class all by himself. I showed you pre-De La Hoya, the Corraleses and Angel Manfredis and Gennaro and the guys he was fighting before. Emmanuel Burton, that's a dangerous guy. You know, the DeMarcus Corleys. I showed you who Floyd fought before. And then after De La Hoya, Hatton, Mosley, Cotto, Canelo. I was born ready. Maidana, Pacquiao. What are we talking about? And Shakur is literally a year off from the age Floyd was when he was doing all this. So this is why I never let emotions do the talking. Or even if there was a fighter, I don't have no beef with no fighters. But even if I didn't like a fighter, my credibility and my talking points and my brand is more important than like carrying on like bickering. I'm always going to keep it real with what I see. I'm going to let the data speak more than what I want to be the case because I'm mad at a fighter or whatever. So I just feel like that happens a lot, especially with Floyd Mayweather and especially with Gervonta Tank Davis. People will start criticizing Tank like, oh, Tank his resume's horrible, and they get on these podcasts like Paulie Malignaggi, and they be like, Tank ain't fought nobody, when's he gonna step up? But then everybody Tank already beat, everybody else wants to fight. Not making sense, right? Shakur, he's done recent interviews with Aiden Ross. Who'd he call out? Pitbull Cruz, a guy that Tank beat with one hand. Ryan Garcia, he on social media right now talk about fight me at a catchweight, Ryan Garcia. So Ryan he got knocked out by Tank. So Shakur, who getting all this credit for Teofimo, coming off that, is calling out Tank leftovers and Pitbull, Tank knockout leftovers and Ryan Garcia. He wanted to previously fight Frank Martin. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. How is it that Ryan can fight Barrios and people want to see it, but then Tank, that whole main event is Tank leftovers? Tank knocked out Barrios and he knocked out Ryan. Pitbull fought Rolly, right? Pitbull got beat by Tank and Rolly got knocked out by Tank when he was undefeated. So this is what I'm saying, where you guys are allowing people, fighter or not, to put out information to like smear campaign people, and then when you break it down like Ego does in these unpacks, it don't really make sense. Devin Haney's calling out Rolly. Tank already beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't care. You know, fighters have to continue their career and fight other people. It's not the issue. My issue is the fact that y'all keep saying that Tank ain't fought nobody, but magically the guys he fights and beats become bigger names, even with losses, like Lamont Roach just fought Pitbull Cruz. Again, two people that Tank already beat. So how are we going to say Tank ain't fought nobody, but all these other guys are calling out the nobodies that Tank already fought? How are we going to say Shakur's resume, he's not ducking and dodging, and he's fighting the absolute best? He ain't fought Tank. He ain't fought Devin Haney. He refuses to fight Keyshawn Davis, right? He never fought Lomachenko. He never fought Murataya. He never fought Andy Cruz. These are some of the best people in or around his division, and he ain't fought none of them. He didn't fight Gary Antoine Russell. He didn't fight Lamont Roach. I would prefer literally all 8 of those. Floyd Schofield. Now, that's the only one you give him a pass because Schofield pulled out for his own reason or whatever. But give me those 9 fights from the Devins, the Tank, the Schofield, everybody I just named, Gary Antoine Russell, and give me those 9 people I just named over anybody Shakur's fought recently, and I would be very, very happy because I think they're better fights. You didn't fight Abdullah Mason, you know what I mean? So people, like, they'll pile on the praise for certain people, and then especially if they have a beef or a bias against another person, then they'll say these other comments, and to me, it just don't make sense. Let me know how I did. I know I did excellent, but, you know, let the algorithm know it. Subscribe to the channel. Use my link me to follow the movement. Deuce. We unpacked. We unpacked. We unpacked. We unpacked. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpacked. Yeah. We unpacked. We unpacked. We unpacked. Coming to you live. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate. So ultimately,